Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Thanksgiving to all. We got a special edition of Around the Felt. I got my co-host here, Colin. My name's Reagan, for any new listeners. But tonight, on a Monday, when we're recording, we're going to be previewing the 3 Thanksgiving games, as well as the Black Friday game in one mini hybrid pod. We're going to do the rest of the slate in a second pod, which will be posted either Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. So be on the lookout for that for the rest of the slate. But in this hybrid pod, we're just doing those 4 games. We'll recap a little bit of last week in week 12. We'll do the mailbag, and of course, we'll do the news. But Colin, are you ready for turkey and potatoes and, other vegetables and cranberry sauce and desserts and just football, man?
Oh, absolutely, man. Don't get me wrong. I can definitely chow down on Thanksgiving. I will pork up a good 5 to 10. But what I really care about, all I need for my Thanksgiving to be a good one is a screen in front of me and whatever football game is on. That's all I need. And I believe that we are entering the absolute prime of football season every year right now. Thanksgiving, Black Friday, you got the college football slate this weekend, which is awesome.
Yep.
Getting ready for the conference championships in college, and we're right at the end of the season there. And then, we got games on Sunday, we got Monday, and now it's like, all right, week 14 next week, right in time, getting ready for the fantasy playoffs, then the real playoffs. Like, this is prime NFL and college, like football in general. So happy we're discussing these games this week. I mean, the recap's great. We'll talk a little bit about what happened this past week as we dive into these games, but I'm excited that we're talking Thanksgiving football.
Me and you both. I mean, hey, football is king, and what a better way to spend Thanksgiving than with some family, some food, and some football. Family, food, football. The 3 Fs of Thanksgiving.
Hell yeah, Reagan. Hell yeah. Before we talk about the Thanksgiving games, we got to do as we always do, and that's address the news that happens in the NFL. And then the question bag is always our favorite part of the pod. But we're going to start off with the NFL's highest paid coordinator, Chip Kelly, gets fired after 11 games. A 3-year, $18 million deal for Chip Kelly, and he's already out of a job. This offense looks anemic with Geno Smith. You can't deny the fact that they have Ashton Jeanty and Brock Bowers, 2 guys who were drafted to be elite at their positions, but no creativity. The wide receiver room's weak. The offensive line's a mess. That's what every Raiders fan is saying. But at the end of the day, Chip Kelly's scheme the second time around the NFL did not translate, Reagan.
No, it didn't. I honestly, nothing's translating for this team right now. There's not a whole lot of positives to take away on offensive, defensive, even the special teams. Like Carlson was missing some kicks yesterday. There's not a whole lot to write home about. I mean, I think at this point, clean house. Like, get Pete out of there as well. Like, what's the point? Get rid of Geno, get rid of Pete, just clean house. Didn't work. Start over again. You're going to have a quarterback next year. And to me, it's like, yeah, you're going to be in a prime position, probably top 5 pick, if not potentially the first overall pick. I doubt, I don't, then again, I don't see the Titans winning again, but I would imagine this team is in a really good spot to get one of Mendoza or Ty Simpson, or maybe another quarterback that's going to shoot up the draft boards, as the season progresses.
I mean, absolutely, dude. I mean, they're always bringing in Pete Carroll at 73 years old was a bold move. Chip Kelly, obviously did great things at Ohio State. Now, when you have Henderson, Judkins, Emeka Ibuka, Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate. Maybe that's the reason that Ohio State was really damn good, and Chip Kelly was just a part of that. I don't want to discredit what he did with that offense, but
that would be fair. Fair assessment.
He got to the NFL, and it just didn't work out. I agree with you. Geno Smith, he's also old. He's not the answer. They need a youth movement. They need new leadership, and it's a damn shame. The Raiders just can't seem to get out of their own way.
No, they can't. So it'll be interesting to see what they do come draft season. But what I do know for a fact is this team is going nowhere with their current coaching staff and roster.
Nope. And that's why you don't take a tight end and a running back that high in the draft when you don't have anyone to block for them, or you don't have a quarterback, or in the premium positions. We talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
All right, moving on here. Another coordinator that got fired. Let's go. I'm so happy with this one. Shane Bowen, gone out of New York. It's about damn time. The Giants have blown 5 leads in which they held at least a 10-point advantage over their opponent, which is asinine. There's been a lot of talk about Shane Bowen's scheme and how vanilla it is. And clearly, the defense ranking 30th in points and 30th in yards needed a new leader. Because you look at the talent, again, the secondary is not good, the linebackers aren't good, but with that much talent up front, you shouldn't be 30th in both of those categories. So clearly, a new scheme is very, very necessary. I understand why Mike Kafka didn't pull the trigger 2 weeks ago, kind of needed to see out the defensive staff a little bit more before making a decision. But, I mean, Bowen was gone no matter what at the end of the season. I'm happy they sent his ass to Cancun.
Well, I obviously you want to let him go, but he was good for the tanking. He was definitely good for the tank in losing out.
Good point.
Now you might actually be able to win some games and not blow leads. So, maybe they should have just let him finish out the season so that you could have continued to blow big-time leads with some head-scratching defensive play calling at the end of games. Just saying. But no, obviously it's good to get rid of him, but for the tank, maybe not the best move.
For the tank, it's actually a really good point for the tank because, I sat there during that game yesterday against Detroit, and I was like, they're so going to lose this. I think every Giants fan had that feeling. Like, there's no way they're actually going to win this game. And, Jahmyr Gibbs just absolutely
plus, let's be real. Like, it's not like he would have been able to turn anything around because you're going to hire a new head coach next year, and he's going to have his own DC. Like, nothing of what Shane Bowen showed this year would have been like, we got our DC in-house already, baby. Like, he would have been gone regardless. So you could have let him finish it out. But I guess you got to think about it for the rest of the staff and stuff. They're still coaching for future opportunities. So probably wanted to get rid of him.
Yeah, absolutely. He was basically fired at the end of last season, too, for some reason. He came back. I mean, even John Mara said after the season in his press conference that the defense was a major, major concern. I think part of the reason they didn't go another route is everyone knew Dabol was on the hot seat, and he just had a big falling out with Wink Martindale, who was actually a great DC for the Giants when they actually made the playoffs. And once he left, they have been absolute trash. So maybe it was the optics. I don't understand it, but clearly something behind the scenes allowed Bowen to come back, and that was a huge mistake and ultimately led partly to the downfall of Brian Dabol.
Just partly.
Partly. All right. Now we got to talk about some injuries. JJ McCarthy. The guy is getting absolutely destroyed on social media right now. 9 is, I'm seeing jokes like, what would his 9 to 5 be? Because he's not performing well. I've seen stats that he's down in like the second to worst quarterback since like 2000 and their like first starts to have such a negative like EPA, expected points added. It's a big metric they look at. The only one worse, Jamarcus Russell. So
yeah, if I had to take a guess, if he had a 9 to 5, he'd probably be out doing logistics for like a freighting company out in Jersey somewhere.
If you know, you know.
Maybe look a little bit like this guy.
Big Z's been told he looks like McCarthy a little bit. And
yeah, just
that's
a little
an insult. That's an insult to him because Big Z's a Sparty guy, Michigan State. Obviously, JJ.
Yeah, that's one of my best edits was the Zach Tong to JJ McCarthy transition. That was one of my sickest edits. So
I was
proud
of
that
one. We should throw that up there. Be like, what would McCarthy's 9 to 5 be on the gram? And but yeah, dude, McCarthy really, really struggling. Another awful game. And he's got the weapons for it. He's got the offensive line. He's got the scheme. He's got the coach. It's really about putting it together. Now he's in concussion protocol. So probably unlikely he's going to play this week. It's rare that you see someone clear it in time a week later.
Yeah, especially with the way they handle his injuries. It's almost half-time. I mean, obviously he's concussed, but a lot of the times
bench.
It seems like, soft benching. So I guess, I mean, and honestly at this point, like the Vikings, while they're not eliminated or out by any stretch, it's a very, very much uphill battle. So I guess it'll be cool to see Max Brosmer and what he can do. The rookie, even though he's an undrafted guy, I mean, he's slated to be the starter, I would imagine. I mean, now that Wentz is out for the year, I haven't seen them bring in anyone else.
They said it's going to be Brosmer. It looks like O'Connell said they have confidence in Brosmer, which you're going to say you have confidence with any guy that's going to step up.
Wouldn't it be funny if he just came in and lit it up and just like, they're just like, all right, it's a JJ McCarthy thing.
It's a quarterback controversy. Like if Brosmer comes in and throws for 300 and Jetta like scores a touchdown and goes for over 100, is there a quarterback controversy in Minnesota?
Yeah, I would think so. That would be something. Maybe we got to take a Max Brosmer prop next week. I don't know.
I'm definitely down. All right, moving on here. Other quarterback news. Baker Mayfield clearly was beat up last night against the Rams. And the shoulder was bothering him. For some reason, he was in there to throw that Hail Mary before the end of the half, and he aggravated even more. And then we saw Teddy Bridgewater back. Teddy Two Gloves back in action. It's a low-grade sprained shoulder for Baker, not ruled out for next week. They have who do they have? The Panthers, I believe, right? No, not the Panthers. They have the Cardinals. The Cardinals,
Yeah.
Baker not ruled out yet. Would be a tough blow. I don't know. Teddy Two Gloves is a vet. Maybe he can lead him to a win against Arizona.
Yeah, I don't think so. But just because there was nothing promising at all of what I saw to him. He looked like a guy that, and I know the Rams have a legit defense and the Bucs are very banged up, but nothing of what I saw from him. And that's like also coming in when you're down by a ton. They're playing a little bit more of a prevent defense. Like he didn't show anything to me that looked any semblance of a guy that should be playing still. So I don't know. Seems like a guy that should be coaching like he was, not pulled out of retirement. We'll see, though. I'd be shocked if Baker plays. But, then again, Carson Wentz, similar injury. Carson or Derek Carr. I don't know why I was saying Carson. Derek Carr, similar injury 2 years ago with the Saints, was able to play the next week. So it's always possible.
Well, Carson Wentz wasn't way off. He's out with a shoulder, and he played through it for a couple of weeks, to be fair, before it got really bad. Yeah. Maybe not the same shoulder injury, but a shoulder. So I got your back, bro. I got your back.
Thank you.
Will Campbell carted off. He had the towel over the head, looked emotional. Everyone feared for the worst. Torn ACL. Well, Pats fans, 2025 really is your year. It's only, and I say only, an MCL sprain. Still not ideal, but he can return this season, right? So that is massive for this offensive line and Drake Maye. That Will Campbell only an MCL sprain.
Yeah, it sucks because he's one of the best rookies already. Obviously, it's good. It's not a long-term thing, and the Patriots are in a great spot right now where you could basically say they're a shoo-in for the playoffs. They're right now they're got a pretty easy schedule still coming up. So Broncos still definitely in the conversation. Colts, there's a few teams still hanging around, but the Patriots really do have a good shot to not only make the playoffs but clinch that 1 seed.
Yeah, without Will Campbell, it'll be tough, but they do have a cupcake schedule. So we'll see what happens. And, their offensive line was so bad last year that they're really going to get their depth tested now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, last piece of news that we got. Brandon Aiyuk, remember him, Reagan?
Yeah,
remember when he got paid a 4-year, $120 million deal?
I do.
And, 1,000-yard receiver? Yeah, he's been pretty absent for a while, even when he was healthy, pretty non-existent. And it's been revealed that the Niners have voided his guaranteed money in his contract for 2026. And, I saw videos him buying jewelry, and I don't know, apparently he's not attending meetings and he's blowing off the team. He's not taking his rehab serious. All these accusations coming out, who knows what's true, but it has been confirmed that they they voided the guaranteed money, which is very rare that happens. It means you're breaching your contract and your duty to the team. So it came out today that there's still a chance that he can play for the Niners this year and earn himself a spot on the 2026 team. But reports seem to be the Niners and Aiyuk headed for a divorce after getting that massive, massive contract.
Yeah, it's kind of wild, too, because, I took him in a lot of fantasy leagues late, and I'm sure a lot of other people did. I would think at this point you probably can kiss the chances of him coming back. I know originally it was like, oh, yeah, he might be back week 5, week 6. I would imagine if he does come back, it's not till later in the year. And even if he does come back, do you want to risk him in the fantasy playoffs? No. So he's unusable at this point. Long term, maybe that's good. Maybe he'll go somewhere else. Somebody is going to give him another chance. What will he look like after that major injury? I don't know. But regardless, somebody's going to pick him up if they do end up cutting him after the season.
For sure. I wouldn't mind if my Giants took a flyer on him, but, you also got to consider the locker room impact.
Yeah, definitely. But you said that was it?
That's all I got. That's all I got.
Let's get right into it. So, Jared Crampton, with some questions, Jared. Thank you as always. Is Michael Wilson's recent success indicative or a rejuvenated Cardinals on? Hold on. Is Michael Wilson's recent success an indication of a rejuvenated Cardinals offense, or does it show just how lackluster Marv has been? I think it's a combination of both because it's pretty evident that Jacoby Brissett has been better for the offense as a whole, especially as a passer. He's been just insane, and he looks good in the pocket too. Like, he looks really good to me, slinging that thing for sure. So I think it's a combo of both. Yeah, of course it helps that Marv is out, but I don't know. I don't want to sit here and take it away from Michael Wilson that he's only doing it because Marv is out. Like, yeah, is he getting more targets? Sure. And like Greg Dortch has been more involved as well. Because of Marv being out, that's led to them being on the field more, I would say, versus those two kind of splitting plus other guys. But Marv has never really been a big PPR guy in terms of like receptions. But, I mean, he did have 10 targets against the Cowboys and then 12 against Seattle. So he was getting a pretty heavy share of targets with Brissett. In that Dallas game, he looked great, and then not so good in that Seattle game. He still scored the touchdown, and then he's been injured the past two. So it's hard to imagine Marv wouldn't have had a big game if he were to play in both those games with the amount of volume Brissett threw. I mean, he threw 57 passing attempts against the 49ers. You would have to think he would have gotten over 100 yards with a decent amount of catches as well.
Yeah, and 49 attempts against the Jags, right? Like, they don't have healthy running backs that are decent. It's Bam Knight, who went 10 for 12 yards, and Michael Carter, 5 for 28. So they're just chucking the ball around the yard. I still think Marv would have gone over 100 yards in both those games, too, given the situation. I'm not giving Marv a pass, though. Like, he's definitely been underwhelming throughout his career. But I think this is unprecedented, the way they have to run their offense right now. But I also want to acknowledge that Kyler Murray is not the quarterback for this offense, and especially for Marv's skill set, because Kyler Murray cannot push the ball downfield. Look at his entire career. He's one of the most inaccurate quarterbacks, 20-plus yards downfield, and that's a lot of the ways that they use Marv. So I think there are certainly better days ahead for Marv. Michael Wilson, I mean, good for him. This is really, really fun to watch, and it's pretty cool. But, like, getting 15 targets.
Look at the production prior. Like, that shows you it's just been the fact that Marv is out and Brissett's had to throw the ball a lot more because he wasn't doing any of this. So I think it's more of an indication of Brissett as well. Like, I think I agree with you 100% that that Marv would have been over 100 in both games. So I'm curious to see how it looks. I mean, right now it's slated to be a pretty positive game script for the Cardinals where it shouldn't be out of hand, but regardless, they can't run the football anyway, and Tampa Bay is great against the run. We saw what the Rams just did against them. They didn't even try to establish the run. They were like, you know what? They're good at it. We're not going to force feed Kyren, even though he's a great running back. We're just going to beat you with Stafford's arm and our wonderful wide receivers. So even when they were up, I think Kyren only had like 6 or 7 carries, and Corum only had a few as well. So they had a full game plan. So it's a good game script this week, I guess, as well. So if Marv is back, I'm curious to see what his stat line looks like.
Yeah, and the Bucs also didn't have Jamel Dean or Benjamin Morrison, two of their top corners. And the Bucs are already weaker against the pass and the run. So, like, it almost does play into Arizona where if Brissett's going to throw the ball 50 times, they're probably going to score mid-20s to 30s in terms of points.
Yeah, for sure. All right, his next question. Shedeur has arrived. Does he slot into your top 10 quarterbacks after the Browns' offensive explosion?
First team rep Shedeur. Now imagine he gets a whole offseason. Nah, I love the memes. I mean, honestly, like, good for Shedeur, like, getting a win. Although, like, the defense really fucking carried them in that game. Let's be honest. They had 10 sacks.
That's the downside.
They had 10
don't
sacks.
Set this kid up for success. They really don't.
Yeah, I mean, why does the defense let up more points so Shedeur can show what he has with his arm? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it.
No, I mean, like, the media, because then they start, like, glazing him like he went off, and it's like, can he just, like, have a good game where he wins? Like, they almost want
playing into the
people
media
to hate him.
Yeah.
No, I know. I'm just saying they almost want people to hate him because they just, like, Shedeur went off where it's just like, yeah, you won a game. Like, you don't have, like, he only threw the ball 11, like, he only had 11 completions on 20 passing attempts. Like, it was very, like, bubble wrapped. And, like, I mean, that's exactly how I saw it going, was it was going to be a heavy dosage of Judkins. Like you said, the defense with 10 sacks, but I don't know. They're not setting him up for success. I'm happy they did announce he's going to get to start again. So we'll get to see, a more true test, where the defense obviously great and probably will have another big game like the way Myles Garrett's playing, on pace to shatter Strahan's record. But besides that, they are playing the Niners next week. So, that'll be a more true test at home to see how he really does.
Yeah, I agree. And it's also like, look, that one play was all Dylan Sampson. Like the touchdown, like that was all Sampson, which was a great play. He showed off that speed. But I will say the one play he made rolling out the deep ball to Isaiah Bond, that was a great play. And I haven't seen something like that from Gabriel. I don't think Gabriel has the arm strength for that. So that was cool. But other than that, I didn't really see anything special.
Yeah, fair. No, I don't know. I definitely want to see more. I definitely want to get to see more dosage. So I could see he'll probably get a couple more starts for sure. I think it's his job to lose at this point.
Yeah.
So let's cut over to Shawnee Mo. He wants to know, do you think Drake Maye is a legit MVP candidate?
I mean, yeah, but I think he's behind Stafford now for sure. Like Stafford's unbelievable.
Yeah, I know Stafford's now a favorite. Actually, he's like minus
that he's on
215.
Ridiculous. I mean, honestly, the Pats like kind of started off slow. I know Drake like ended up throwing for 294 and a touchdown. He did have a pick, but I don't know. It was a pretty good game, but honestly, against the Bengals, like you kind of expect to see that performance. They're 10-2, but I think at the end of the day, you got to look at who they're playing as well in terms of MVP votes. I'm not taking away the fact that he's playing great ball right now and he should be considered up there, but I'm still going Stafford and Jonathan Taylor over him.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, that's if you're going JT, you might want to throw future. He's 18-1 right now. May's 2-1, and Stafford's minus 215. So if you actually view JT higher, it might be worth throwing a future.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have the best game against KC, but again, he could go for 203 touchdowns in any week, and those odds can fluctuate massively. I get it. Like, it's always a quarterback, Yeah. That's what sucks. But, like, I personally think JT's more deserving.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Zach, Mr. Around the Octagon. Check them out for all things UFC, MMA, and boxing. But he wants to know, where do you rank the Chiefs amongst Super Bowl favorites following their win over the Colts?
I believe actual betting odds have them still at third at 6-5, which is crazy.
Yes. Yeah, just above Seattle. And
yeah,
the Colts.
It's LA 1. Who's 2?
Phillies 2.
Phillies 2. That makes a lot of sense. Look, I'm still going LA over
LA at 4-1. Wow.
Yeah, I'm going LA over them. I'm going Philly over them. I think I want to go Detroit over them still, honestly.
I don't know, man. I'm not sold on LA. I know everyone like they're good, but like everyone like I don't understand this crazy hype for 4-1. Like that to me seems a little crazy. Like we've seen them lose to a team. We saw them lose at home to the 49ers who had only McCaffrey. Like, and all those injuries on the defense. So to me, they're very beatable. I don't know. I don't understand why they're 4-1. Maybe that's a respect to Stafford that he's done it before, gotten it done. But I don't know. I mean, after watching them lose to Mac Jones at home with, none of his weapons outside of CMC, I wasn't overly in awe of them. I mean, obviously they're 9-2 and have beaten some good teams, but like, I still think I don't even think you could say for certain they're better than Seattle or the Niners in their own division. Granted, the Niners have injuries, so now you could probably say it's for certain, and that could be the fact that Shanahan historically matches up well against McVay.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's in a playoff matchup. Who do you trust, Stafford or Darnold? Obviously, Stafford, right? Like,
well, that one, yeah, but
Darnold shit his pants at the end of last season, right? And you could think LA and Seattle's defenses are pretty neck and neck with each other. San Fran, like, yeah, they beat them, and I almost thought about San Fran, but I got to think their injuries on defense are going to catch up to them eventually. You know what I mean?
Tonight, probably against
that's
the
what makes me hesitant. I mean, the question really is like we just named all NFC teams. What AFC teams do you like better than the Chiefs to get out right now? Because in the playoffs, it's always ran through KC. This year, they're going to have to be on the road.
It's going to run through Denver
the whole time. So you like Denver better than KC? You think they should have better odds?
I do, just because of the way the defense is played. I mean, they're gritty. I understand the offense is probably what's holding them back, where if they've dominated in these games a little bit more, they'd probably get better respect, and it's been a lot of close games. But they're on a 9-game win streak, or an 8-game win streak, whatever it is. So
now, what about Buffalo? Because Buffalo just beat KC head-to-head, but then Buffalo will throw up a dud and lose to Miami. You know what I mean?
And Houston, like I know I don't know. Buffalo, I still fancy Kansas City, and it's just because of the fact that I know I just said Denver, but we've seen Buffalo and Kansas City meet time and time again, and what's been the outcome every single time. So at least the Broncos, there's optimism. Same with the Colts, and I know I put the Ravens in the same category as the Bills. I mean, we've seen them meet time and time again. Until the Ravens and Bills are ultimately able to get over the hump, I will not put them there.
That's fair. Yeah, I think I probably have KC number 1 in the AFC, honestly.
Yeah,
To win the Super Bowl. To win the Super Bowl.
Know. I'm not even sold that they'll make the playoffs. So, I'm not going to act and sit here like, oh, they're definitely making the playoffs. Yeah, it was a nice win, but still. I mean, I guess the Buffalo lost, but they're still a game back, but really more than a game back because the Chargers, Jacksonville, and Buffalo all have the head-to-head. So they're really 2 games back right now of all 3 of those teams. So they still need a lot of help.
Yeah, they would need to go on a run, which we've seen them do, and they need the Chargers to fall off.
The nice thing is they do play the Chargers again, so that game is probably the most massive game on their schedule. But the way Dallas has been playing, that's no victory, especially on Thanksgiving. So that's definitely not a give me coming up on.
No, it's not at all. It's not at all.
But let's move to his final question. Where do you rank Jahmyr Gibbs amongst top NFL running backs? So I think he just means in the general sense. I would say top 5. There's still a few I like more than him, like JT, McCaffrey. I'm not going to say Saquon the way he's looked this year. I mean, granted, he was a beast last year, but, right now I'd probably put him at 3 for me.
I think he's 3.
I think he's 3. I think he's better than Bijan.
I think, I think that's the 4 in my mind. That's the 4. I'd put Barkley at 5, despite the fall off this year. But you can't deny I went for 2,000 last year. I think those are your 5. They just move different than everyone else, it feels like, right? They have the speed and the power.
And James Cook.
I'm not doing that. Not better than Jahmyr Gibbs, man. They're not better than
No, not better than him, but I'm just saying that same tier. I'm curious, Rico Dowdle, the way he's looked. Where do you rank him? Is he a top 10 running back right now?
You love the Panthers so much. It's a question about Gibbs, and you're bringing in Rico Dowdle?
Dude, he's
Rico Dowdle.
Well, because he's 8th in rushing yards right now, and he hasn't even played tonight. And it really most of his production, you can basically throw out his first 4 games. In his first 4 games, he only had 28 carries total. So, the fact that he's 8th in rushing and really only has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games as a starter is insane to me. That's all I'm saying. Where the other guys have gotten the lion's share, you look at the carries. I mean, I guess he's kind of caught up to them, but I'm just saying at this point, is he a top 10 running back with the success he's shown this season? Especially because he's on a 1-year, $3 million prove-it deal. Is somebody going to pay him in the offseason? Will it be the Panthers? I don't know.
I think the Panthers will bring him back. How do you not,
Well, we said that last year with Chuba, and now look at how it worked out. They gave him the contract, and somebody else came in and took the job in year 1 of the contract.
That's true. I need to see it for a little bit more from Rico to consider him top 10. Don't get me wrong, he's having a top 10 season, but I don't know if he's top 10. But yeah, I think you could put Gibbs at 3. I think you could argue him. It's hard to put him above McCaffrey. It's hard to put him above JT
because they've done it longer. They've done it longer and more consistently. I guess he's a better running back than McCaffrey right now, but McCaffrey's just so much better all around. And McCaffrey gets such a bump up from his receiving work, because I'm not going to say he's a great runner at this point in his career. Granted, they just are so injured, but he's just so dynamic in what he can do.
That is a great point, because the Niners' rushing offense is bottom 5 in football right now. But McCaffrey, as a receiver out of the backfield, is the best to ever do it. So it's and he's still doing it. He's still doing it. His line for tonight is 50 as a running back. I'm that's nuts, and honestly, that feels low. You know what I mean? So
for sure.
But as a pure runner of the football, I put him. It's JT, him, and Bijan as pure runners of the football right now.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to Caleb. He wants to know, how do you feel about the Texans' chances of making the playoffs? And if they were to do that, do they have a chance to go on a run?
Look, they've won a playoff game the last 2 years. What do you consider a run? Getting the divisional round? Because that's what I kind of feel like their ceiling is with that defense. It's unbelievable.
Their ceiling is probably I'd say an AFC Championship appearance with the defense. Well, actually, with the defense, their ceiling's a Super Bowl. It's just the offense is so bad.
They have a chance in every game. Every single game with that defense, but it takes Davis Mills coming in here for them to start going on a run. because we thought their season was
Yeah.
over when Stroud got hurt. It's like, oh, here comes Davis Mills. What were they, 3-5? Like, they're done. Now they win 3 in a row. But look, Davis Mills is not going to get you on a run in the playoffs, right? So Stroud's going to have to come back and make something happen here. I don't know, dude. I think the offense is still too flawed. I think the offensive line's too bad, and they're going to encounter somebody's pass rush that's just going to eat up CJ Stroud for breakfast, and that'll be the end of it. But
yeah, and listen, they still got the Colts twice. They got the Chiefs still, the Chargers. So they got 4 teams that are primed playoff position. Then they got the Cardinals and Raiders in there, but like the Cardinals are frisky. I mean, the Raiders should be an easy win, but the Cardinals are definitely frisky. Yeah, I don't see it happening because I don't see them similar to the Chiefs where I'm like a little worried about them being able to catch some of the other teams in front of them. I think between the Colts and the Jaguars, like I don't think they can catch both of them. So then you're looking at the wild card. Could they catch the Jaguars there, the Chargers or Bills? But you also got to think they're still playing against the Chiefs and the Steelers. So they're a team that I don't think can win 10 games, and if they do, they might need a few things to happen. But they did prove me wrong. I think 7-10 is out of the cards. Granted, they've had some luck down the stretch. I really thought the Jaguars and Bills should have beat them, but hey, they're playing good defense and winning games.
Yeah, your 7-10 would have been really, really sick.
Felt pretty good. It felt pretty good. I mean, it's still not officially chalked, but I think I'm going to take the L on that.
Yeah, but then go 8-9, and you're closer to right than a lot of the people in our comments were.
Yeah, they were acting like they were a shoo-in to go like 12-5 and be hosting the first round game. I mean, if they miss the playoffs, I think I can still do some victory laps. But let's move on. Who would you label as the most inconsistent team in the league right now?
Is it Buffalo? Is it Buffalo? Up and down? You could beat Kansas City, but then you lose cupcake games to the Dolphins. You lose to Atlanta. Like, I don't know what I'm going to see from them week in and week out.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. I mean, I think Houston's another one you could put in that conversation just based off of who they beat and lost to. Pittsburgh as well, all over the map this year. But
it's been a lot of bad recently, though. Like they're skidding hard.
Oh, I mean they've won. Yeah, I guess they're 3 of their last 4.
Chargers,
but that's another team.
Chargers are 7-4. Who are their losses to? The Giants, the Jaguars. I think they had another bad loss.
Commanders, but that was with Jaden.
As with Jaden. Okay. I mean, still the Commanders aren't a good team, though.
They only beat the Titans by 7. The Colts they lost to. I mean, that's another one, you could say. Yeah, that's a good question, though. That's a good question. But that's all we got for questions tonight. Once again, if you're listening, always feel free to submit it. We usually throw the link up on Instagram, but you could also just, DM us questions or send us an email to the around.the.felt.sports @gmail.com. Email. We're always happy to answer your questions and feature them on the podcast. But Colin, you ready to get into their 4 games?
Yeah, we got 4 games to break down, and I'm really, really excited for this slate. The NFL did us right on Thanksgiving. So we're going to start with the Packers at the Lions, a massive game in the NFC North. The race for that division champ is going to be crazy with Chicago at 8-3, Packers at 7-3-1, and the Lions at 7-4. So this game is massive. And it's the Lions that get 2.5 points as the favorites in this one, being the home team. The total 48.5. That's a good number. Especially, these defenses are pretty damn good. So Vegas likes a lot of points in this one. What do you think here, Reagan? You trusting Jordan Love on Thanksgiving, or are the Lions just too good to beat at home?
I don't know if it's that the Lions are too good to beat at home. It's just I'm expecting this series to be split. I think the Lions are going to get their get back here from, their kind of embarrassing loss week 1. I do think it's going to be close, but what I can say is right now I have seen more fight out of the Lions recently. And I know, the Lions almost just lost to the Giants, and the Packers obviously just dominated the Vikings. But outside of that, I mean, the Packers have really, really been struggling. The defenses look good, but the offense still hasn't looked great. And it took 9 making some bad plays to really put the Packers in good position. So I don't know if that was necessarily me going to sit here and say the offense dominated and that was more the defense going out and getting the win. So I'm going to take the Lions to get another big win here. I think this should be an interesting back and forth just because how good the Packers defense is. Like, they'll stay in it, but I'm going to take the Lions by like a field goal here, maybe a touchdown. It'll be close going into the 4th, but give me the Lions and the revenge, get back game in the tight division.
Yeah, I remember when we talked about this game week 1 that I picked the Packers despite me having the Lions getting all the way to the Super Bowl. And I was like, shit, we just did the prediction pod for the season. And I have this team in the Super Bowl and I'm picking them to lose week 1. Kind of felt weird. But I was like, you know what? I think they're going to split. The home teams will win each one. And here we are 13 weeks later, and I'm predicting the split. I got Detroit winning and covering as well. I'm just more confident in their offense at this point in time. Although I do think Josh Jacobs will be back for this one. Who knows if that, I know it's just a bone bruise, but those things fucking hurt. So I don't know if he's going to be 100%. And this Lions run defense is no slouch. Just with the way Jared Goff's slanging that thing right now, Jahmyr Gibbs is just unbelievable. He had his highest snap share of his career, I think, against the Giants. It was over 75%. So they've really kind of faded away from David Montgomery when you have this guy like Jahmyr Gibbs that just looks so much better. And I have no reason to think he's going to slow down here. The Lions are one of the few teams that have a offensive line that can almost neutralize this pass rush from Green Bay. I do think that total's a little high. I would actually go with the under here, which sucks because I do want to see a lot of points on Thanksgiving. And I am doing a Thanksgiving Day special Big Dogs parlay, and you bet your ass there will be a line in this parlay.
Yeah, make sure you're following us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, so you can see what his 4-leg parlay is.
Absolutely. You got to check it out. We're up 25 units on the season, so we're due for another smack before the end of the season to really take us to the promised land. But, yeah, I think Detroit's going to get a win here at home. I believe in the fight in Dan Campbell's, man. I really do. And even though the Giants aren't a great team, just that fight that they showed to come back and win that game in overtime and how they did it just really showed a lot to me that this team's never going to go away. They're never out of the fight.
Now is for your big dogs is
let's talk about it because the lines are probably posted.
Is Black Friday in play or no?
I tell you what, Black Friday, yeah, that could be in play. I'll allow it.
I mean, it doesn't have to be. I'm just curious.
I just think, yeah, because I can do a guy from each game, and I think that's a fun way to do it.
Yeah, that would be it. Yeah, I mean, you could always do one on each team. Like the Chiefs Cowboys is definitely in play because that's the one I think would be a big shootout. But I mean, I kind of like.
You know what, dude? I like because I'm looking at these totals, Reagan. 48.5 for Packers Lions, 52.5 for Chiefs Cowboys, 51.5 for Bengals Ravens. Those are juicy. Yeah. Those are juicy. We might just stay on Thanksgiving.
No, you can. I was just curious, and I know we're gonna do a 4-leg felt parlay as well, just with some props, or maybe there'll be a touchdown score in there. I'd rather not. I'm gonna stick away from touchdown guys if you're already doing the big dogs for that one, but maybe we could even do a special edition felt 5. I'm cool with it. Could have 2 felt 5s. I mean, who says no? We're the guys that decided, and some wheel spins. So we're gonna have a lot of content. So make sure you're checking out on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all around the felt. I mean, I would think Gibbs and Jacobs are the only ones not in play because of the odds.
What are they, like minus 200 or some shit?
Minus 160, minus 190. But everyone else is plus money. I kind of like Montgomery at plus 140 just to the fact that he's kind of due.
Yeah, but I just said that Gibbs just got his highest snap percentage in his career. Now, does that mean 4 days later they kind of taper off a little bit? This is a much bigger game. It's a much bigger game than the Giants game, though. They gotta win this.
So. No, I know, but I'm saying I think they're going to taper off a little bit, and I think Montgomery will be more involved. I think that one just got out of hand, and it's listen, if you're down and trailing, who are you going to put on the field, Gibbs or Montgomery?
Gibbs. I mean, yeah, he's passing. He had 11 receptions.
That's what I'm saying.
Holy
That's
shit.
what I'm saying. So I think game script definitely played into it, and I'm sure, based off the history and the fact that both guys are involved, I'm sure they didn't want to have to give them all that work. So I think on the fact that it's just a short week and the fact that they're also playing next Thursday, so they're not even going to get the extra rest, I think just having that many games in that short of a span, knowing they have playoff aspirations, I think Montgomery will be more involved. So I do like him to get in the end zone. I think he'll get some more run here. I still wouldn't take any of his props, but touchdown at plus 140, I don't mind.
It's also J-Mo just got goose-egged. Yeah. So it's hard trusting him. And Laporta's on IR. I don't want to go Brock Wright. That's too ballsy for me.
Oh, you could still go Romeo Doubs or Christian Watson. I don't know. We'll see. You can do some thinking.
I don't love that either.
We'll think about it. Thinking, pal.
I'm leaning just right back to the well with the Hall of Famer, Amon-Ra St. Brown, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, most of the lines aren't out yet. I mean, like I said, definitely make sure you're following so you can check it out. I mean, I do like St. Brown's receiving. 70 receiving yards, I don't mind at all. I think Jamo at 50 receiving yards also isn't bad either. I think he'll have a nice bounce back game and be more involved.
He just got blanketed by an elite corner in Cordell Flott. So,
but I do like the under, honestly. Like under 48.5 seems pretty solid to me as well. But we'll see when the full slate of props come out, because it doesn't look like, at least what I'm seeing, it's only a couple. The touchdowns are there, but a lot of the other props aren't out yet.
True. All right, let's move on here. The Kansas City Chiefs travel to Jerry's World for Thanksgiving, the 4:30 game. Chiefs at 6-5, Dallas at 5-1. But it's the visiting team, the Kansas City Chiefs, 3-point favorites here. Total 52.5. Both teams fresh off of big W's. The Colts, had a chance to get back at KC, but KC come from behind, big win. And then also the Cowboys come from behind, the largest come from behind victory in their franchise's history, which is really saying something given the history of this team. So both teams, vibes are high heading into Thanksgiving here. What team do you like in this matchup?
Yeah, I actually like Dallas. I'm going to go with Dallas here at home. I love how they play on Thanksgiving normally. I like the way their offense has been playing, but their defense is better. It's pretty evident. And I know one of the games was against the Raiders, so it's kind of a washout, but they really stepped up in that second half. Quinnen Williams has already had a massive impact right away in his 2 games as a Cowboy. Like, you can see, well, they're still not a great unit. I definitely wouldn't say they're in that bottom, like, worst category. They're probably in like the 20 to 25 range now, just with getting Quinnen Williams and, how he's able to kind of solidify it. And the duo of him and Kenny Clark is just sick, and what they can do for each other and open it up for some of the edge rushers on the outside. But the way Dak's playing, the way George Pickens is playing, and I feel like we haven't even fully seen CeeDee Lamb explode yet. Like, he's had a lot of bad drops. So if he can kind of get cooking too, it could get dangerous. And Javonte's having a nice bounce back season. You would think, whether it's with Dallas or somebody else, like, somebody's going to pay him. He's on a 1-year, $3 million prove-it deal between him and Rico. They both have definitely played themselves into some nice contracts after taking a gamble on, different situations, and both really writing back. But, man, give me the Cowboys. I know, and I'm not going to say, like, obviously Mahomes could come out and dominate, but he has not looked good recently. Like, he hasn't really looked good since that Commanders game. He struggled the past 3. I don't want to say that he's not going to bounce back, because it is Patrick Mahomes. But even last week, like, while the passing yards were there, no passing touchdowns. The interception week prior didn't look great against the Broncos, and the week prior to that, not good against the Bills. So it's been a 3-game sample size. It was interesting to see Kareem Hunt get that kind of volume, 30 carries in the game against the Colts.
For the old man.
Yeah, granted, no Pacheco, so if he's back, but hard to believe he will be on a short week's notice. Rice will cook in this one. You got to think that, and like Worthy and those guys will probably cook that Dallas secondary, but I'm going to go with Dallas at home here. I've just been really inspired with, Dak, and I had a Daniel Jones comeback player of the year future. It looks like it's Dak that's going to run away with it the way he's played recently.
Yeah, it's a damn shame. I was really rooting for you for that one, for DJ over Dak. But, yeah, Dak has been unbelievable. I think it's really funny that yesterday Skip Bayless tweeted when they were down 21-0 that Jalen Hurts is so much better than Dak. And then, Dak goes off and they come back and win, and Skip's a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, I still would say Jalen Hurts is so much better due to the fact that, like, we've seen him produce in the playoffs and Dak always chokes, but at least in the regular season they're in the same combo. But yeah, when it comes to playoff time, but it doesn't matter. Regardless, Dak has played good.
He certainly has. I'm going to go with the Chiefs here, man. I think this is a tough matchup for Dallas. I think, Kareem Hunt getting 30 carries and then winning the game. Wow. I never thought I'd see that. That is insane. But the Chiefs' run game is obviously like not what they're known for here.
No.
I think it's going to be Mahomes, Kelsey, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Juju, even to get in there a little bit. And the Chiefs are going to beat Dallas by 10. That's my prediction here. And I can tell you right now that Rashee Rice is going to go for probably $112 and 2 touchdowns in this one. I think it's a monster game for him, because the Chiefs don't need to run the ball up the middle. to carve up this Dallas defense like some other teams did. I mean, you're right. Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark, like they did a hell of a job these past 2 weeks on Ashton Jeanty and Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, although
So
two teams that can't run the ball.
it is really weird how those two teams.
And they're going to get a third team that can't run the ball. So it's hard to fully gauge. But,
so I'm going to go with the passing attack of Patrick Mahomes, just the importance of this game coming down to the wire, like late November. Like this is when KC really turns it on, man. So it's just hard for me to pick against this team right now. I rolled with them against the Colts. They didn't cover the 3.5. I bet 2.5, so that one for me. But in our picks, I lost with the 3.5. But I'm going to go back to the well here. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs.
Now, are there any guys you like to score here? I like CD a lot to score in this one at plus 135.
Man, CD just keeps burning me, so I'm really mad at him. I'm so mad at him. I'm going Rashee Rice for sure. Rashee Rice will be one of the 4 in big dogs. I can tell you that right now. CD Lamb is very tempting to me, but I don't know. He's got me in my feels right now because I had him another parlay yesterday, and he was the last leg, and he had that drop. So
I just feel like he's
really
so
upsetting.
due.
Or let's go with George Pickens. Like, you know what I mean? Like, is Pickens a new one?
I don't know. I just feel like he's so due. Like I like Lamb over 80 receiving yards. I think he's going to have a nice bounce back game against Kansas City. I mean, all the receivers have like 80 yards. Kelsey's line is at 70, which seems high. Like I kind of like his under, honestly. But yeah, even the rushing line, like Javonte, they're saying it's 70 yards as well. But I'm not touching any of those running back props. And I love the over in this game as well.
Yeah, this one I could see like 31 to 28. 27.
Like on
27, so they cover.
Yeah, fair. I could see that. They don't have it out yet, but I like how on DK you can bet like combined quarterback passing yards. That's always a cool prop. So I'd love to parlay that together and maybe take like 550 to either 550, 575, or 600 between Mahomes and Prescott. It's just slated to be a shootout.
I agree. All right, man. Let's move on to the night game here. 8:20 NBC Peacock. So Chris Collins worked on Thanksgiving. I love it. Bengals, Ravens. Cincinnati at 3-8. Baltimore at 6-5 with 5 straight wins. Although it hasn't necessarily been pretty for Baltimore, but their defense has definitely taken strides. Lamar probably not fully healthy, to be honest with you, the way he's looked. But you know who is back? Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is back ahead of the 3-month timeline from that turf toe surgery. He will be without T. Higgins, who's in concussion protocol. But it's the Ravens, 7-point favorites in the return of Joe Burrow. Total 51.5. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. What do you like in the nightcap?
Yeah, I just don't see how the Ravens don't blow them out of the water. I feel like everyone's going to be giving the Bengals credit here, and I'm just going to be like we've seen how Joe Burrow has looked in week 1 after coming off of injuries or like missing some training camp and not playing in the preseason. So there's no indication off of his history that he's going to come out here and light it up. Like he's a guy that usually takes a couple weeks to get warmed up, and then he starts cooking. So I think he's going to struggle here. You're going to see a lot of rust on this guy who's been out the majority of the season. Actually, really only played 1 game, so has been out essentially all season. Where the Ravens, like, yeah, I know Lamar's banged up, but I don't think it's going to matter. Like, to me, this is a big Derrick Henry game. He's going to get over 100 yards, probably 2 touchdowns in this one. I think they're going to rely on him a lot, and I don't really see the Bengals defense being able to stop really anything, where I think the Ravens defense, they have looked better as of recent, and just having Lamar out there in that presence, like, will win the game alone. But I think this is a double-digit win for the Ravens and another just big game, getting them right back into the AFC North title.
I'm going to take the Ravens to win this game for sure, but I do have the Bengals covering the 7, whether that be in backdoor fashion. I could see it in backdoor fashion, to be honest with you. I'm just looking at like what the Ravens have done for me recently, and it's like, yeah, you beat the Jets.
Yeah, it wasn't the prettiest.
Yeah, nope. It wasn't the prettiest. Yeah, you beat the Browns. Wasn't the prettiest.
Granted, the Browns have a sick defense.
True. And they beat the Vikings, who, 9 is not him right now. So, and it wasn't the prettiest. So I'm thinking they're going to win, but it's not going to be the prettiest, and they're going to get the job done here. Now, all indication would be, oh yeah, Derrick Henry against the Bengals defense late November, he should go off. But I also thought he would do that against the Jets last week, and he really didn't. So if Joe Burrow's back, and he is truly healthy. Ja'Marr Chase is back. Obviously, T. Higgins is going to really kill, but I could see Ja'Marr Chase having 12 for 150 and a touchdown, and Burrow and him just willing them in this game. And it's the defense that just doesn't allow him to get the win. Right? Like, that's just kind of the game script that I see right now. So I think they can cover the 7. But ultimately, the Ravens are just on a different trajectory, and they're a better team. And they're at home.
No T. Higgins does hurt, though. That's a massive loss.
Oh,
for
it
them.
kills.
So
that's what makes me hesitant, honestly. If they had T, I'd feel a lot more confident in that 7. But, a touchdown just feels like a lot given how Baltimore's looked against bad teams the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, I kind of like Chase Brown in this one. I would stay away from. I don't know. Chase, you got to think the one thing with having Burrow back, the run game will improve because Chase Brown was really good with Joe Burrow last year. So he's a guy I like to get in for sure at -130. Probably staying away from Chase. Andrews, Flowers. I kind of like Likely at +210 is very interesting to me, honestly.
The guy's been so absent this season, though. You know what I mean?
He's been dealing with injuries, but he's so due. So
I don't know. And this one, like Derrick Henry, he's probably going to be -200, so it's not even worth taking.
-225.
It's not even, you can't even go that route. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
Zay Flowers, maybe? You want to go with a Raven. Lamar just hasn't been running them in recently, or I go with Lamar. I bet that's juicy, though.
Yeah, he's like +200 right now, but that's because he hasn't been running the ball with the ankle injury. Yeah, he's +245. So
it's hard to put him in there. Man, I got to think about this one. We might need to go back to the drawing board because I could see a total like just random ass dudes scoring in this game. Like Justice Hill and
Charlie Kohler.
Yeah.
That's why I like Isaiah Likely because I feel like he fits in that category where he's just gonna like get some random jump ball and come down with it on some. They do like running their crazy tight end plays in the goal line when they don't go to Henry. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like I like Likely's receiving yards at 25. That's a nice play to me. Chase Brown, I might take his total yards. I mean, his rushing line is at 60, which I don't love, but I might take his combined rush receive in a parlay at like 80 or 90 you could get away with. Because I think he could get to 100 for sure. But, yeah.
All right. Let's move on to Black Friday to close out this pod. We got the Bears at the Eagles. Both teams sit at 8-3. But Vegas, not giving the Bears a lot of respect here, with Philly being a touchdown favorite. Total 44.5. Watching the Eagles blow a 21-0 lead just felt really, really crazy to me. Something we're not accustomed to. And it was like, oh, shit, like A.J. Brown's back. Like now how are they going to how is anyone going to stop this offense? And then they went 8 straight drives without scoring a point. So Dallas just showed the blueprints. But I don't know if this Bears defense is up for the task in this one. Is Caleb good enough to go on the road to defending Super Bowl champs and carve up this secondary? Because the run game with Monangai and Swift really has not been that good of recent weeks.
No, it really hasn't. I mean, Monangai's been nice around the goal line. He scored, I think, in his past 3 games. But I haven't been overly impressed with the running game. I mean, Caleb's looked good to me. He's been really maneuvering around that pocket, and the Bears just somehow win. I do have the Bears winning, actually, in this one. Philly seems like, from what I can remember in recent history, like it always seems like when they lose 1, they lose 2 or 3 in a row, and it's like, uh-oh, what happened to Philly? And then they just go on a running game and rattle off like 5 or 6 more wins. So in recent memory, like that has been Philly's thing where it's like when they're struggling, they're really struggling, and when they're on top of the world, they're like dominating everybody. There's like no in between where they just drop one and they're back next week. So that was kind of it for me. And I know a lot of people don't believe in the Bears, but they're winning games. They're winning games. They might not be the prettiest, they might not be the sexiest, but they're winning games. So why? Because they haven't beat anybody, I should fault them for that? Maybe they're just a good team and they're just going to come out and beat Philly and Philly. Like maybe Caleb Williams, this is his big coming out game where it's like, this is why the guy was drafted number 1 overall and he just lights up Philly's defense. So I'm buying into the recent success of the Bears and the fact that Ben Johnson is a prodigal, all that hype for like he's
he is a what? He's a what?
The prodigal son. He's a prodigal.
What is that? What is that from?
I think Star Wars. maybe. I don't know.
No, I'm a fucking Star. You know I'm a Star Wars nerd. What are you talking about?
I don't know. The prodigal son, like no prodigal. Isn't that? I thought it was a prodigal son. They always say prodigal.
You go Star Wars. I'm like, you damn well know I know Star Wars a lot better than you.
Yeah, the prodigal son. Oh, it's never mind. The gospel. A son who leaves home, squanders and yeah, like it's just basically like he's a prodigy. You know, like he's the boy genius. Like all the hype has been true.
Prodigy. There you go.
Regardless, I'm taking the Bears here. You know, Philly, I really don't like what I saw that second half. Well, the defense has been pretty good, like actually really good, because they really shut down Dallas in the first half, and they had no help in the second half there. And the offense, you know, had some bad turnovers, obviously the bad special teams one. So I do think Philly's defense will show up. I just, right now, I'm not in love with, you know, this Philly offense, especially like the passing game has been decent, but Philly's not dangerous that they can't run the football, and right now they can't. So it's hard for me to have any confidence in them until they're able to fix this run game. Granted, if all these Bears injuries at the linebacking core are out, where they have a lot of money invested, yeah, Philly should be able to establish a run, but Philly's definitely got some injuries on that offensive line, so it'll be interesting to see how that shakes up. But unless they get healthy and Saquon's able to get back to like, and he doesn't have to be like last year's form, but just like a competent running back who can go for like 60, 70 yards, which really he's been having a terrible year. Like, I don't know. I mean, his line is 80 on DK right now, so obviously DK expects a nice bounce back game for him, but I don't know. I'm staying away from him.
Yeah, I mean, I took Barkley this past weekend and I got burnt, so pretty pissed off about that. Look, my thing is I'm going to go with the Eagles to win and cover the 7 here. I think the Bears are stupid fraudulent.
Wow.
They're on a 4-game winning streak. They beat the Bengals 47-42. Not a good team. They then went and beat the Giants 24-20. Not a good team. They then went and beat the Vikings 19-17. Not a good team. And then they just beat the Steelers 31-28. Not a good team. All those games
I wouldn't say the
really,
Steelers are not a good. They're a decent team. They've beaten.
It was also Mason Rudolph led Steelers, right? So that's 4 straight wins, but all those games very close against teams that you would think an 8-3 team would be a lot stronger against, right? I think the Eagles, like, you are absolutely right though. Like, when they seem to lose a game, they go on a bit of a skid and it feels like the world's falling, right? So that does concern me a little bit, but I don't know. That first half, they were beating the shit out of the Cowboys. It was 21-0, and they blew it. I don't understand how, but I got to think that I'm going to see more of what I saw in the first half than the second half for the Eagles at home against this Bears team that I really just don't trust their defense enough.
Well, I mean, I get your point of that, beating not good teams by close scores, but I mean, you could say that for a lot of teams. Like the Broncos are 9-2, and half their games they've won by like 3 points, you know, against teams like the Jets and Giants. They almost lost to.
Okay. But we also know that the Broncos have an all-world defense. The Bears do not. Like, you have the Broncos as your Super Bowl team. Would you put them in the same stratosphere as the Bears?
No. My point is
an eye test also comes into play too, though.
My point is, like, they're winning games. So just because they're not winning in the most convincing fashion doesn't make me less high on them. Like, they're doing what they're supposed to. Like, a win is a win. If you win,
I agree. A
win's
a win. Doesn't matter. Just get the win, right? But as I'm predicting this game against the defending Super Bowl champions, I just don't see them coming up and having that type of defensive performance against Mason Rudolph last week and going to think that they're going to shut down the Eagles. You know, I really don't. And it's fair. Like, hey, do I believe Caleb Williams can go into Philadelphia and have a good game? Sure. Good enough to beat this team? I don't know. I don't see it.
Any touchdown scorers you like in this one?
I kind of like Dallas Goedert, to be honest with you.
Really?
I mean, he was really, really hot. And, you know, I know A.J. Brown got his last week. I think a lot of people go back to A.J. Brown. I could see Devontae Smith, too, actually. I'm staying away from Barkley because there's always the touch-push threat with Jalen Hurts. And the way he's running the ball right now, it doesn't look like he's going to break off any 40, 50, 60-yarders. So, you know what? It was A.J. Brown last week. Give me Devontae Smith this week.
A bounce back.
Yeah, I like Devontae Smith.
Yeah, I kind of like Rome's kind of due for one, in my opinion, on the Bears side, and I do agree with you. I like Smith in that one. Hurts is always in play just because of the tush push, but they could always have the design runs for him.
Yeah, I was fired up when he scored yesterday. I had him straight up because Big Dogs lost, but yeah, that was one I felt good about.
Understandably so, but really, that's all we got.
That's
Oh,
all we
man.
got. Right on an hour. Perfect timing for the boys. We appreciate you sticking with us. As Reagan's mentioned, check us out on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, all of it. We got it all. Drop a like, drop a sub, drop a follow, drop a comment. We appreciate you. We'll catch you back this week on Around the Felt Sports.
Yeah, and later in the week, full Week 13 slate. So check out that pod on like Wednesday morning. But thanks for listening.